Shut up and sit down.
What's the story, Internet? Hope everyone is having a wonderful Wednesday. Hope you're all enjoying the second day of this week's Champions League. Welcome to my review. I'm going to go through the matches for today. So starting with Marseille versus Porto, looks like it was a little bit of a, not necessarily a dirty match, but there were 2 red cards, one for each team. So a little bit of a, hard-fought battle, shall we say. Porto running out 2-0 winners in France. Looks like Marseille had the better of the possession, better of the chances, but Porto they were the more clinical side at the end of the day. So yeah, not a lot to say about that one, except for the fact that this pretty much settles the group. Manchester City on 12 points, Porto on 9. I mean, Olympiacos could still make it if they overturn their goal difference, and if Porto don't win any of their remaining matches. But it looks like it's pretty much settled. Manchester City officially qualify to the next round. So on to the next one, Mönchengladbach versus Shakhtar Donetsk. They won 4-0, which means that they won 10-0 overall on aggregate. So quite a performance by Mönchengladbach, especially because, as I've mentioned, Shakhtar gave Real and Inter a run for their money. So fair play to Mönchengladbach with their 4-0 victory. Yeah, they just looked good for their money. 4 different scorers, so a great performance from the Germans there. That means that they are top of the group, which is surprising, especially because that means that Inter Milan are bottom of the group. So it's Mönchengladbach back on 8, Real Madrid on 7, and then Shakhtar on 4, and then Inter on 2. So very, very interesting, these last 2 matches that are coming up, to see who will make it through, as it can be anyone's game. I mean, even Mönchengladbach might not make it if Inter turn around the goal difference. They would have to make up a 13 goal difference, but still, it's anyone's game to play for at the moment. So a very interesting group in Group B. And then we have Olympiacos 0, Manchester City 1. Manchester City just getting the job done thanks to Phil Foden. Looks like the Greeks didn't really have any opportunities. 2 shots, 0 on target. Manchester City had the possession. They had 22 shots, 11 on target. I mean, yeah, there's not a lot to say really. Manchester City were the favourites, and they came out and got the victory. So on to one of the, not necessarily the shocks, but the upset of the day was Atalanta versus Liverpool. Atalanta winning 2-0 at Anfield, so quite a result for them at the end of the day. A performance from Ilicic, he just continued where he left off last season, and then Robin Gosens getting a goal. Liverpool surprisingly 4 shots, but 0 on target, so not very clinical there. Opens the group right up because Liverpool are on 9, Ajax are on 7, Atalanta's on 7, so unfortunately Midtjylland have been knocked out. They can't even make it into the Europa League now. So commiserations to them. But the final 3 teams, it could be anyone's game as to say who comes first, second, and even who finishes in Europa. So be interesting to see. My predictions for Group D are it's going to be Liverpool and Atalanta go through, and then Ajax finish in 3rd. I think it will start taking a toll on Ajax, losing the players that they've lost over the last couple of years. Finishing with Donny van de Beek this season. So I think that will start to take its toll. But only time will tell. We never know. They could finish top of the group and prove me completely wrong. Inter Milan 0, Real Madrid 2, and just to add insult to injury, Arturo Vidal got a red card, along with an Achraf Hakimi own goal. Yeah, just not a good day at the San Siro for the Italian side. But Real Madrid looked the better for the money. They had the more possession. They had the rub of the chances. A good performance from Real Madrid, especially after the draw over the weekend. They sort of exercised those demons. So fair play to them. Bayern Munich 3, Red Bull Salzburg 1. Not really a shock there. Mark Rocker getting a red card.
It's not going to affect them too much because Mark Rocket isn't really a starter, but still not good for him to try and make his mark. But Lewandowski on the goal sheet, just the sky is blue and water is wet, but you know. Salzburg did have a majority of the chances though, 19 shots, 11 on target. Shame they could only get one of those to count. But fair play to Bayern, that puts them top of the table, and they've gone through automatically now. They're on 12 points, Atletico on 5, and they're the closest, and with 6 points remaining, no one can catch them now, so Bayern are far and away. The next match I'm going to talk about, and then I'll discuss this group a little bit more, is Atletico Madrid 0, Lokomotiv Moscow 0. So not the most exciting in matches. I mean, Atletico Madrid did have 20 shots, only 6 of them on target. Lokomotiv with 4 and 1. Atletico with the bulk of the possession at 65%. But that does mean that it opens the rest of the group wide open. Bayern don't have to worry about it. Like I said, they're already qualified. But Atletico on 5, Lokomotiv Moscow on 3, and Salzburg on 1. So that means that anyone can make it into the next stages with the remaining 6 points, or anyone can make it into the Europa League. So all to play for. I think ultimately Atletico are the favourites to make it, to proceed into the Champions League, and then it's just such a toss-up between Lokomotiv and Salzburg over who's going to make it. So it'll probably come down to the match between those two as to who's going to progress. So definitely one to keep an eye on. It's still a lot to play for in that group, in Group A. And then the final match, Ajax 3, Midtjylland 1. Have already discussed this group because it's the one with Liverpool in it. But a good result for Ajax against not necessarily a side that should be giving them too much trouble. Midtjylland got a red card, so even though it was the 91st minute, it was just insult to injury at the end of the day. Ajax looked the better team. So happy days in Amsterdam, really. So fair play to Ajax there. So there is my roundup and review of today's Champions League matches. As I've mentioned, I will be back tomorrow with my preview for the Premier League, for the weekend matches and any other big matches going on around the league. But yeah, I hope you've all enjoyed the football. One last thing I wanted to mention, even though he's not my favourite player, being English, I am kind of biased in that regard, thanks to the hand of God, but unfortunately we did lose Diego Maradona today, so rest in peace to him. I know he meant a lot to a lot of people in Argentina, Boca Juniors, the national team, and then also with Napoli. So in regards to football, it is one of the bigger names that we've lost. So another one to chalk up to 2020. So rest in peace to him. But I hope you're all staying safe, keeping out of trouble, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. And until tomorrow, thank you very much for watching, and ta-ra for now.